What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bro77, and we are here to talk Arsenal versus PSG. Got the lineups here. Not too much has changed from the predicted 11s we saw when I did the preview video. So let's just go over a little bit of the big board here. Arsenal still sitting at plus 115. PSG still sitting at plus 250. Draw has dropped a little bit to plus 245. Not a huge surprise there. Asian handicap, I haven't checked that. They removed it from my odds checking tool, which is really strange. So not going to go individually look at that market unless that's something you really want to talk about. If so, throw it in the comments and I'll be sure to address it. Next thing we have is I still do like the over 2.5 here. I do think there's going to need to be goals. I do think both teams score. I think the over 2.5 is still very in play here. It's only at minus 110 now, as opposed to minus 108 from yesterday. The numbers have just flip-flopped. The under 2.5 has moved to minus 108. So just a couple of cents of juice moving around there. Nothing super notable. Arsenal's team total has bumped up a couple of cents from plus 106 to plus 108. It's fine. I still think that's a very playable number. If you like Arsenal, I do believe they need goals here at home. You are not going to want to go to Paris down on aggregate because we all know that PSG just gets so much stronger in their own building. The big pivot here that has changed has been PSG's team total goals. It has fallen from plus 200 to plus 180. Still not the greatest value, but it also explains why both teams to score dropped by about 5 cents. The consensus is becoming more and more that PSG are going to score here today at the Emirates on the road. The over a goal moved from like minus 200 to minus 260, which is a pretty significant shift. So consensus is that there are going to be goals here, and we've seen that happen in the market as well. Some player props I want to talk about. I put a big emphasis on this in the preview video. I really like Doye. I think his prices are super undervalued. I got in on DraftKings. Doye shot on target minus 105. Doye over 1.5 shots minus 125. I believe I was just talking to my boy Brad Thomas and looking at some stuff in his Discord. I think there are offshore markets where Doye 2 shots might be a little bit better on Bovada or on BetUS. So be sure to take a look at your prop builders there. Make sure you're getting the best number you can. But I think minus 125 is still very playable. I also really like parlaying Doye 2 shots and shot on target. I got plus 142 on DraftKings. I like that as well. So I am pretty heavily involved in Doye here. I thought he looked fantastic in that game at home versus Aston Villa. I believe he got pivoted out for Barcola in the second leg, but came on and played. So if I remember correctly, I bet him for a shot or a shot on target at an absurd number when he came on live, and it worked out well. So I like Doye. I like the spot for Doye. I think there is going to be some stuff here for him. And if not Doye, if they lock up Doye, I think that some of that stuff's going to fall down to Neves and Hakimi, who are other guys I really want to talk about. I think there's really good plus numbers here on PSG being a super big a significant road underdog here, despite them being favored to advance from this fixture. So if you do believe that PSG is the better team, and you believe what you've seen and you believe the odds and you're following the odds, the value here is heavily with PSG. That doesn't mean there's no value on Arsenal. It's just going to be more difficult to find, which fair. They're at home. The expectation is Arsenal should come out and get a result here at the Emirates, because it's going to be very, very difficult to go on the road and play in France, as it always is, especially PSG. They have a very big supporter section and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of open up the floor for questions, comments, concerns, if you guys want to talk about anything. Otherwise, I'm going to just kind of start picking through, making my bets, posting them in Discord, and talking through what I like, what I'm going to see with you guys. So please bring any questions you have, comments, concerns, anything you want me to take a look at, anything you want me to help you research, throw it in the comments. That's what, this 40-ish minutes of pre-game talk with official starting 11s is for. So I am in on Doye. I'm heavy in on Doye. I like all of his stuff today. Obviously, he is in the official starting 11. That was my one hesitation this morning. And after I made the video yesterday about telling people to pull the trigger on Doye props, because if Barcola did start, it's very important you know your house rules and whether or not that is going to apply. Anyway, so let's keep it moving. I super want to get involved in Hakimi today. So I want to be with Hakimi shot on target. I'm going to go find Hakimi's best shot on target price. Hakimi. Help if this didn't become such a mess, but hey, what are you going to do? Hakimi, shot on target, plus 200. It's looking like DK, I believe. Yeah, no, FanDuel. All right, FanDuel for Hakimi, shot on target. Where did you go, son of a bitch? Hakimi, shot on target, plus 200. Definitely like that over on FanDuel. Gonna get involved. Hakimi takes a ton of the free kicks and set pieces here for PSG. He's also, I believe, had like 4 or 5 assists in this competition. He's got 2 goals, including the goal last game versus Aston Villa away in England. So, yeah, I like Hakimi to keep cooking. Best price is plus 200 over on FanDuel. So I'm going to get involved in a Hakimi shot on target here. Arsenal versus PSG. And I am on target. Plus 200. 1 unit. Now, getting my 3-year-old cell phone to load up FanDuel is definitely the biggest challenge of all of this. And dealing with now having 2-factor authentication in pretty much everything in Michigan. So, yep, that's always the issue. So I apologize. Jackpot Joey, good to see you, brother. You're always a pleasure. Jason Gunn, appreciate you for tuning in. As always, my man, anybody who are liking for Arsenal shots to pair with my 2 shots for Hakimi and Vitinha. I like both Hakimi and Vitinha. So, yeah, we will definitely look into some Arsenal stuff here in just a second. Jason Gunn, I will get with you. If there's anybody I'll tell you who I like, and I'll tell you who I'm probably going to target. And if you want to talk about somebody else or get more info, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Help you get to where you want to be. Jenna P, what's good? I got half a unit on Vitinha, shot on target plus 215. I like that a lot, Jenna P. Vitinha, again, most likely the penalty kick taker, but does a lot of the same stuff that like Calhanoglu does for Inter. He plays the midfield well. He's not afraid to shoot. He likes to shoot from distance. He's fairly accurate when he does it. Vitinha is even more aggressive than Calhanoglu. Calhanoglu has better range, in my opinion. Like, I've seen that motherfucker knock a goal back from damn near the center dot. But Vitinha's got a cannon for a leg as well. He's not afraid to let it go from inside the box, outside the box. I just haven't seen Vitinha bombing them from fucking half field like I have from Calhanoglu. But still, hell of a leg on the guy. Absolutely no problem taking his shot on target at plus 215. He's one of my favorite midfielders here. As I've said throughout the entire UCL competition, everybody in this PSG midfield ain't scared to shoot, and they like shooting. And PSG, I think they're gonna have a lot more volume than people expect. I think that, Arsenal building their team and their talisman identity around defense, it's not incorrect. It's not wrong. It's just that PSG don't need a lot of the ball to create, and they don't take a lot of time to create. When they get the ball, they move very quickly in transition. It's what I like to see from Madrid. It's a very high-paced, don't need a lot of possession, and still can create very good chances. So PSG don't hesitate to get into their offense. When they find space, they take space. When they create space, they take it. When they get into the final third, they don't mess about. They don't back the ball out a whole ton. They don't spend a lot of time trying to set up runs and overlapping runs and moves and feints and stuff like that. They just fucking go. And it works for them because they're young, they're fast, they're talented, and they're playing really, really good football right now. Again, can Arsenal shut them down? Possibly. They're going to need to. I just think that PSG is going to get a lot more volume than the sports books think. So anyway, I just locked in my Hakimi shot on target. I'll come back to PSG because that's where I'm going to focus. I think that's where the best value is for me. But because Jason Gunn wants to talk some Arsenal, I'm going to talk some Arsenal. I like Saka. And it's not a surprise. Like, I really like Saka. He's the best player in this starting 11 for these guys. I also think Rice is a good look. I mean, how could you stop shooting? How could you stop taking direct free kicks? How could you stop balling the fuck out when you just put 2 direct free kicks past Madrid? Like, that's world beater shit. Those are the European nights. Those are the European moments that everybody stops and looks at. And that's what makes this competition so great, is the combination between brilliant skill and sheer luck always fall together. And that's what makes Champions League and European nights so great, and so much fun and so electric to watch. Even when you're like me and you're pulling for Madrid and you're on the wrong end of that, there's nothing you can do other than tip your cap and go, fucking hell of a shot there, Rice. So yeah, I like Rice. I think he should have confidence. I think he should keep shooting. Again, I like Saka. I like Martinelli. I think that going up the left is a little bit easier because Hakimi does get forward and get involved in the offense a little bit more. Same with Yao Neves and Doye. I think Hakimi's a solid defender. I think he's much better than like a Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's a right back who just bombs forward and basically plays as a wing back or something like that. Hakimi is a little bit more sound defensively, but I think Martinelli could find some space to work there, just depending on the game flow, especially if Arsenal is up like 1-0 and PSG are really chasing a goal late. I think Martinelli could work there. If Martinelli's still on, there are always like substitutions there. But I think this game is it'll be interesting to see if a goal happens in like the first 15 or 20 minutes. This is a really big match for Arsenal. This is the farthest they've made it in this competition in like 15 years, I want to say. So there's going to be some nerves there. And if we don't see a super early goal, I can kind of I expect a little bit of time of like caginess in Arsenal to kind of figure out what's going on here with PSG. I think if PSG's smart, they look to move the ball quickly, and they look to strike immediately. Another thing I mentioned in the preview video is I do still like a goal in both halves. I think like minus 135 over on Caesars is a really good number from that. And I do still see goals here today. So I would focus up on Saka. I think he's a stud. I think you got to get your playmakers the ball and have them do things for you. That said, Saka might be looking to be passed first a little bit here if there's other lanes opening up here from PSG. So that is always something to keep in mind. But Saka should eat. He should shoot. He should put him on target. I think there's good value there. I think Martinelli has good value as well. It's not that I don't like Trossard. I just am never in love with Trossard playing a 9. He doesn't finish as good as I'd like him to. He's not as quick as I'd like him to be. His decision-making with the ball isn't always my favorite. So it's not that I don't think Trossard's going to eat. It's that I don't want to put my money with Trossard on those short of odds for him to prove me wrong and to have a great day as a number 9 today. I would rather tie up funds with Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Doye. That's just my preference. I also got a very small stake on Kiwar, 1,800. Saliba, I like a lot. You don't have to do much to talk me into Saliba or Timber. I think those guys are really, really good. Again, like Arsenal hasn't been absolutely crushing it from set pieces like they did early in the season, but they're still a very skilled team at set pieces. Plus, Saliba's always hanging around right at the top of the box, like guys like Gvardiol, who I talk about for City all the time. Rudiger, when it fits into the Madrid thing, like Lenormand, like I talked about all summer with Euros. He's that guy that hangs at the top of the box, and if the ball gets to him, even if he's not putting it directly on frame, he's going to try, but, he's a center back. Even if he's not putting it on frame, he's going to shoot it in order to let the defense adjust or make sure that you're not getting caught on a counter, on a breakout, something like that. He might yeet it, 40 feet over the net into row Z, but it's still a shot. And a shot for Saliba or a shot for Timber or a shot for Kiwar at plus money is something I'm not going to turn down. So I'm with you there, Genpai. And I also think that you have great opportunities here for Saliba and Timber, especially for headed shots when it comes to set pieces. And we know that Arsenal was mockingly called like set piece FC. I don't know why people thought that was a swipe. As a guy who takes plenty of swipes at Arsenal, and is happy to do it, calling them set piece FC is pretty fucking dumb. If you're not good at set pieces, get good at set pieces. 60% of all goals come directly from a set piece action. So winning a corner, serving a corner, getting a throw in, something like that. Like most goals come from a set play, like a free kick, a corner, a throw in, something like that. They're difficult to stop, and you can get really creative. It's one of the few times the ball's not in motion in soccer. So set plays are super problematic if you're a defense, and it's something you really need to focus in on. So as a guy who likes to take plenty of free shots at Arsenal, I thought that one was kind of fucking whack. Rice shot on target, plus 150. Yep. That's I like the shot on target. I like the shots, especially, again, because he's on free kicks. And, like, if you bury a free kick into the wall, they can't in good consciousness say that was a cross. And I've had keepers come off their line and, like, save balls from free kicks. I want to say this was last game or 2 games ago. I don't know. I remember being furious because he comes off his line, saves it before anybody can get a touch to it, and that is ruled a cross or a service into the box instead of a shot direct from free kick, which it was. Like, I know it was, you know it was, we all know it was, but the keeper coming out and saving it because it was on target, like it was going on net. So those not getting ruled shots is frustrating, but if you have a bad free kick taker and he's burying them into the wall, those are all shots. So that's a nice little cheat code there, especially when it comes to the shots market, in my opinion. So wanted to get involved with Rice to score or assist, but his price is adjusted and he'll play lower on the pitch without Partey. That's correct. I was right there with you, and that was why I left it out of the video and why I didn't talk about it a whole ton. Declan Rice is priced correctly after what people saw you could do against Madrid. So, yeah, I'm with you. It's not that I don't like Rice or that I don't think Rice is going to do things. I think that his price accurately reflects how likely he is to do something or be involved. And like you said, I do think it goes down a little bit without Partey, for sure. And Partey is a guy who is exactly like Lee Normand. Like, if Partey was in, he's dumb accurate from the top of the box. When he puts those shots in, I would be looking dead at Partey for a shot on target if he was playing today. So I don't want to spend too much time on that since, he's obviously not in the starting 11. So, yeah, I like Saka shots on target. I think Martinelli's a good look. I want to say Odegaard, but he's been fucking Casper the Ghost here in UCL. And you know what? I'm not even going to get on him about it. I'm just not going to bet him, and I'm not going to play it. So that's where I'm at on that. Methane TV, good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in as always, my man. I definitely do like Ruiz shot on target. I was just saying earlier, I'm super high on Doye today because I thought his prices were significantly off market, especially on BetRivers, DraftKings, and maybe even offshores, from what I was hearing from Brad Thomas. So be sure to check that out. I think Doye has himself a really nice day. I think they were unsure whether or not he was going to be in the starting 11. So we got advantageous pricing there from sportsbooks not named FanDuel, but I love everybody in this midfield for PSG. I've said it all UCL season. This PSG midfield has a ton of shooters. PSG don't need a lot of the ball. They like to produce a lot of their shots and stuff quickly in transition. So I have no problem going with Ruiz, Vitania, Neves, and I personally really like Hakimi because he's taking set pieces. I'm on Hakimi shot on target at plus 200 on FanDuel. I haven't gotten involved in Ruiz, Vitania, or Neves yet, but I'm going to get there. So appreciate that, Methane TV. I'll look it up for you if you want me to tell you Ruiz's best price, or at least the best one I see for a shot on target, because I do like that play. I like Vitania a little bit because I know that he is kind of like the PK taker if they get one. Not that that's something like I'm relying on, but I also know that he's never met a shot he doesn't like, and I like him. So I like Vitania as well. Ruiz is plus 245 on DraftKings, plus 230 on FanDuel, plus 190 on Caesars, plus 205 on BetRivers. I like anything plus 200 or above. I think you're fine to go with on Ruiz. I think Yao Neves shot on target is really attractive as well at plus 290, plus 230, plus 300, plus 380 on BetRivers. If you're not incredibly limited there like I am, otherwise plus 300 Caesars, plus 290 DraftKings, all good prices, Yao Neves. So I like this midfield a lot. You do have to pick and choose. I don't want you guys to think that tying up 10, 15 units in this game because it's the UCL semifinal is the thing to do. The thing is, these prices look really good and everybody's always really hyped. And I really do think there's goals here, because if you're Arsenal, I don't think you can walk out of the Emirates scoring anything less than 2. Whether or not you concede, that's besides the point. But I think you're not feeling good and you're not riding high going into Paris with confidence unless you net 2 goals at home here at the Emirates. That said, these matches do tend to be very cagey, and they tend to spend a lot of time poking and prodding and trying to figure each other out early. And that's just the reality of it. And it happens all the time in the finals. We see a lot of low scoring finals. But yeah, this is where things really start to be real for teams. Like PSG's already had the league on lock forever. Arsenal can't win any other trophy. This is it. So you gotta lock the fuck in here. So it could be KG. I could be wrong about goals. I could be wrong about a lot of shit, and I am on occasion. But you know, you guys have been watching. You've been tuning in for a while. You know the deal here. We're here to talk about value and how to find it, and it's up to you whether or not to pull the trigger. So that's some stuff I like. Again, I really want to, I'm going to go, while we're here, I'm going to go look up the best price on Saliba, because I definitely want to be involved with him shooting at least once. If you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, you know the deal. Throw them in the comments. We will address them as much and as quickly as possible. I'm going to stick around for at least 5 more minutes, and then we're going to wrap things up. And I'm going to take my final action, do the Discord stuff, and sell in, watch a fun game. And then I will also be dropping the Barcelona-Inter preview kind of like right after the UCL game. I already shot the video and edited it. I figured if I posted it before we went live to talk about the game, that it might get overlooked or like buried on Twitter. So yeah, I'm just going to publish it like around 5 or 6 o'clock tonight. Where am I? I got to go pretty close to the bottom here. Saliba shot plus 165 DK, plus 165 FanDuel. Love that. I'm going to take Saliba for a shot. And I would also look at Timber as well. Timber's 125 on DK, minus 130 on FanDuel. So if you're going to take Timber, make sure you do it on DraftKings and get your best price there, because that's 55 cents on the dollar. That's a lot of money. So yeah, getting my Saliba stuff in, and then I'm going to keep moving into, we already talked about Ruiz, Vitania, Neves. Oh, Kvaratskhelia. I remember his shot on target being pretty disrespectful when I did the preview video. If Special K is still being disrespected, I'm obviously going to take Special K, even though I'm on Doye. Minus 120 for a shot on target on DK. That's mad fucking disrespectful. Yeah, you got to take like, I again, this is why I say that, like, I don't want to tie up too many units. There's a lot of super attractive prices here. You got to pick and choose what you're going to do. Do you want to throw 3 darts at plus 200 and longers and hope to hit one of 3? Do you want to take Kvaratskhelia, who's obviously got, you know, the higher potential for volume and is the guy who's supposed to be finishing a little bit more? You know, it's not that I'm not going to bet it, anything. Like, then you know, you can start parlaying some stuff too. So yeah, like, just pick and choose your battles here. You can't bet everything, even though you want to. It's a good way to, if the game doesn't go how you expect, to end up really broke and really disappointed. Trust me, I've been there. So yeah, I like Kvaratskhelia shot on target at plus money for sure, at minus 120. That's pretty disrespectful. All right, Saliba shot done. Anything else before we start to wrap up, guys? Questions, comments, concerns? I'll throw it out there for sure. Another thing that I noticed when I was doing the preview video, and I saw that Brad Thomas was talking about, is cards for both of these teams. The card line's only at 3, or like 3. I think it was at 3 with a push last I checked. Both team totals over 1.5. I think those are both really good looks. I think no matter what happens, and I haven't even looked into this rep very much, that's just a super low card total for a final this big. I don't necessarily anticipate like a red card or like anything like that. Nobody's desperate and playing from behind. You have like the whole thing in front of you. There's going to be professional fouls. There's going to be something like, I think 3 cards is a touch low. I think there's 4 cards in this game for sure, without even looking at the ref or having any sort of bias there. I watch Spanish football more than I watch English football too. I know England's like not usually like super card pussy. I know they don't like I know they don't hand them out like candy like they do in Spain, but like my automatic assumption is that there's 6 cards in every game. Like there, especially something that's leading up to a final. Like I know you gotta not get suspended and shit like that, but yeah, I think that there's at least 4 cards in this game, if not 5. 6 might be a stretch, but I do like cards. So, yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully I got to some of your questions. Hopefully we covered the player props you were looking for. If not, next time, we'll be back right here, same time, same place tomorrow. So make sure you are liking and subscribing. youtube.com/@BurOak772. It costs you guys absolutely nothing. It helps me out immensely. Even just dropping the comments in the live helps out. Like the YouTube algorithm looks at comments, likes, and just like people watching and how long they watch for. And all of that you guys do contributes to helping hopefully get my stuff in front of more people who are passionate and interested about soccer and want to join the conversation, and can attack the game from both a fan and a gambling angle like we try to do. So yeah, youtube.com/@BurOak772. Appreciate you guys. Social media stuff, Twitter, X, Instagram @BurOak77 if you want to follow me there. Oops, I always do that. Discord, all that other stuff, links down below in this video description. BetUS is a partner as well. If you sign up and you need a sports book, I use them all the time for cards and fouls. They have a 125% deposit match. That link is posted right down here below in the video description as well. So check any of that stuff out. Always appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting. Looking forward to a great game. Oh, JJ Bands plays Takimi to get a shot on target from outside the box, +600 on DK. I like that a lot. I also I'm probably going to put a cup of coffee on his assist. I was talking to my guy, Suspendo Fernandez from Twitter, aka Notorious Bot. I was talking about his assist. It's like +750. So I got to find where he got that price. Hakimi's got 5 dimes so far in the UCL, and I think he was hurt for like 6 of the qualifying matches. So love Hakimi taking set pieces. Really think that assist number is mad disrespectful at like +750. Also, do not hate the shot on target from outside the box at all. I also really like that he's playing on Doye's side. I think if Doye is doing really spectacular things like that fucking cracker of a goal he hit for against Austin Villa in Paris, if they have to put additional support to help stop Doye, that's going to free up Hakimi, and Hakimi will be playing deeper, so he should be hanging right around that top right corner of the box where I'm always talking about Garvidal to throw a shot on target for City, and like other guys like Lee Normand, and who are we talking about? Partey for Arsenal. Guys like that. That's their job. They hang around at the top of the box. They put in a shot. It doesn't always have to be on target. It can go way out into the row, but it lets you set up and get back for the counterattack. But You know, a guy like Hakimi's good enough that when I see him take an open shot like that from the top right corner of the box, I expect him to put it on frame, unless somebody comes in and slides in and cuts it out. Like, he's good. He's very, very good. So yeah, always appreciate it. JJ Bands, think that's a great look as well. I'm going to wrap it up. I already did my plugs and stuff. Again, we will be back here 2:15, same time, same place tomorrow to talk Barcelona versus Inter. I'll have the Barcelona versus Inter preview video up shortly after the match here today. Already got that recorded and everything. I just didn't want it to get buried with having to promote the live stream too. So appreciate you guys. Look forward to that. Check out the new preview dropping later this afternoon, probably around my dinner time on the East Coast. And then, yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow. So appreciate you guys as always. Look forward to seeing you at the window. And until next time, Oaks out. Deuces. We outside.